I get it scrolling through a sea of glossy photos. You see a sleek, all-metal cabinet that promises to turn your garage into a tidy workshop. Then the box arrives, you wrestle with the assembly, and the doors wobble the first time you open them. It's the exact kind of disappointment that makes anyone hesitate before buying a storage system online. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this video, I'm going to walk through the Seville Classics UltraHD 5-piece cabinet system with Workbench, point out where it shines, where it trips up, and help you decide if it's worth the space on your floor. First off, this isn't a single piece of furniture. It's a modular set that includes a workbench, 3 tall cabinets, a low side cabinet, and a set of shelves that lock together with steel bolts. The idea is to give you a complete, garage-ready environment without having to hunt for separate pieces. That modularity is a real strength if you have a dedicated workshop zone that you can map out in advance. You can arrange the tall cabinets on either side of the workbench, slide the low cabinet under for tools you need at waist height, and tack the open shelves on the back wall for bins or bulk items. For people who have already measured their space and know they want a built-in feel, this can save a lot of planning headaches. What you'll notice right away is the footprint. The whole system spans about 84 inches wide and 48 inches deep, so you need a fairly generous slab of floor. Think a standard 2-car garage or a larger basement. If you're living in a tight apartment or a small 1-car garage, you'll probably end up crowding the entryway or forcing other storage to the walls. The footprint is not something you can cheat around. The workbench itself is 60 inches long, and the cabinets lock into that length. In real-world use, I've seen people try to squeeze it into a 10 by 12 foot space and end up with the workbench jutting into the driveway, which defeats the whole purpose of a tidy workshop. Material matters, and Seville goes for a heavy-gauge steel frame with a powder-coated finish. The panels are a high-density particle board with a laminated surface that mimics wood grain. In practice, the steel does a good job of holding up to the weight of a full toolbox, a couple of power tools, and even a small air compressor placed on the bench. The powder coat resists the occasional drip of oil or water without chipping. However, the particle board panels are not waterproof, so if you store anything that leaks like a bucket of paint or a garden hose, those shelves can swell over time. For a dry, indoor workshop that mostly holds solid items, the material mix is fine, but you'll want to keep liquids off the surfaces. The doors on the tall cabinets use a sliding mechanism rather than a traditional swing. Sliding doors are a nice touch when you're working close to the cabinets because you don't have to fight for clearance. In a day-to-day setting, they glide smoothly when the rails are clean, but they can catch if you have dust or small debris on the tracks. A quick vacuum or wipe down once a month keeps them humming. The downside is that the door panels are relatively thin, so if you slam them hard, the edges can dent. If you have kids or a busy workshop where tools are constantly being moved, you might need to remind yourself to close the doors gently. Mounting is another practical consideration. The system is designed to be bolted to the floor with anchor kits included, which adds stability especially for the workbench when you're hammering or using a table saw. The instructions walk you through the layout, but you'll still need a drill, a level, and a bit of patience to line up the anchor holes. It's not a plug-and-play piece of furniture. You'll spend at least an hour assembling the frame, attaching the shelves, and finally bolting the whole thing down. If you're comfortable with basic DIY assembly, that's a reasonable commitment. If you'd rather avoid the hassle, you might be better off with pre-assembled metal lockers or a freestanding workbench that doesn't require anchoring. Now, who should actually buy this system? If you're a hobbyist who spends several evenings a week on woodworking, electronics, or automotive repairs, the integrated workbench gives you a solid, level surface right out of the box. The bench includes a built-in shelf underneath for power strips or a small parts drawer, which saves you from adding a separate utility cart. The tall cabinets are deep enough for 12-inch toolboxes, and the side cabinets' adjustable shelves can hold paint cans or bulk hardware. In short, anyone who wants a dedicated, all-in-one workshop zone will find a lot of practical value here. On the flip side, if you're just looking for a few extra shelves for seasonal decorations, or you need a storage solution that can be moved around easily, this is probably overkill. The system's weight once fully assembled and anchored makes it